Hey, this is Bethany, and welcome to my mermaid collab. We all had mermaids inspired by their environments. My friend Jackie was inspired by Arctic mermaids. She took a pearly, otherworldly, and ethereal approach to it, so please check her out after you watch. My friend Rebecca Shores MUA took a soft, ethereal approach to a river mermaid. Her colors are very bright, pastel, and flowy, just like the water. And I, of course, did a swamp mermaid. I was inspired by both the environment, the plants, the colors, and, some of the critters, because I did kind of alligator platelets down my neck, which you will see soon. If you do want to see a tutorial on this crown, please comment below. I did film it, but I don't know if people would be interested in that. So, let's get started. I'm starting out with a full coverage foundation routine already applied. I'll link that below. And then I'm going to prime my eyelids with NYX's eyeshadow base. Then we're going to be hopping over to my eyebrows. I'm going to fill them in, emphasizing my arch using the slide-on liner in Esmeralda. I'm going to be using this beautiful green wig, so I'm being careful to match that color to the best of my ability. But first, I'm going to fill it in. Then I'm going to hop over to the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. Taking the green eyeshadow, I'm going to be setting that pencil, all in the front end of the brow. After that, I will be hopping over to a blue shade to fill in the back end of the brow. Kind of like a subtle ombre brow. I've noticed that the wig I am wearing has a little bit of like cool tones in it and then bright pops of neon. So then I'm going to be using this neon liner in the front end of my brow, just at the lightest point. Once those are filled in, I'm using Makeup Geek's Beaches and Cream just to lay down a nice base or transition shade on my eye. And I will be coming back to the eyes later, but I just like to get that all up in there first. After a color quality check to my eyebrows, I'm ready to pop back over to the rest of my face. I'm going to be using the NYX Primal Eyeshadows. So first I'm taking the green one, then switching out to a less dirty brush. And I'm going to carve out my cheekbones very high, very distinctively. And then I'm going to lead that up into the temples. I'm also going to contour underneath my chin. And I'm going to put a little bit of that residue on my forehead, but not nearly as much as used elsewhere. Then taking the blue shadow, I'm going to contour my temples. Going to really round it off in there to make my cheekbones look like they're jutting up. Then I'm going to contour back, like way back towards my neck. Then for a less colorful contour, I'm taking Makeup Geek's Love Triangle to contour my nose, just to make it look a little bit more narrow. I don't want a completely green nose. Then going back to the Brights palette, I'm going to take some pink and a little bit of fuchsia and work it up on my lid and into my crease. And then using the smaller Furless blending brush, I'm gonna, add some purple to that outer corner and work it up into the crease a little bit too. Then I'm going to be taking the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in Masquerade, and I'm going to be gently patting that on the eye and just kind of shearing it out a little bit with my brush. Then taking a more champagne cool tone pink, I'm going to blot that on the inner portion of the eye to brighten it up. And then I'm going to marriage those together with my brush. Next, I'm taking NYX's matte liquid liner and I begin lining my eyes. This top portion is the only portion I'm going to end up keeping because for some reason I got the inkling to drag it down into this like feline shape, but then it ended up looking more birdie looking and Egyptian mixed together. So eventually I get rid of this, but first I add on some Vivid Brights liner in pink, and I hate it. I really end up hating this. But not just hating it in general, but just for this look in particular. I also go back to that purple shadow and I make those areas holographic, which looks cool but just doesn't fit the look. I also throw on some lashes by NYX. They're the Wicked lashes. This is part of their new line, and these are called Overrated. I had to trim these lashes, so I had an extra piece, and I used that for the outer end of the lower piece of the graphic liner, and I added a few other little custom lashes because I was just trying to save this liner, and it didn't work. It just didn't. I even took some of that green eyeshadow to try to shade around the eyes to make it look like they were more part of the look, but it just still didn't work for me at that time. Giving up, I go back to the Vivid's Bright palette and I kind of use a little bit of teal to, you know, add a little color around my mouth and soften the edges of my contour. Then I'm using the green eyeshadow, and I'm speeding this up because it takes forever. I'm going to drag it down my neck, and I'm going to drag the blue eyeshadow down my neck and, you know, accentuate my collarbones as well. Then taking the NYX Prismatic Eyeshadow in Mermaid, I'm going to pretty much smother this over every place you would naturally highlight if you wanted to look super glowy, cute, and ethereal. Then taking the Prismatic Eyeshadow in Venom, I'm going to do that even more so, but mostly in the deeper blue contour areas. And then to top it all off, I used Kat Von D's Thunderstruck to really amp up the brightness on my face, so I should be pretty much holographic by now. Now I'm going to start drawing these lines down my neck, spacing them like a little less than an inch apart. I am actually going to be drawing alligator platelets inspired by how their underbelly looks. So this was the easiest way I could think of doing it. It's kind of in more of an artistic way because I'm not getting super detailed with it. Once I draw my lines, I'm going to draw these little kind of lazy rectangles. You know, they don't have to have perfectly sharp edges, they can just be kind of rounded off a little bit, and they can all have little gaps in them because that's how an alligator's platelets on its belly looks. I don't know if that's proper grammar. Anyways, I'm filling these in and then kind of finishing off some edges a bit, but I end up fading those out as well. Then with a flat-edged brush that's the approximate and appropriate size, I'm using a yellow water-activated paint by Mayron to fill in all these type of little brick shapes. And I'm being kind of loose and scattered with it because I kind of wanted it to look more abstract. I think it suited how I did the rest of the makeup all bright. So then I'm going to be, you know, widening that yellow, but I'm going to be coming in soon with a bright green paint on my shoulders, and I'm going to be dragging that down. And I'm actually using a lot of water to do this because I wanted a bit more of a watercoloring type look to how my paint is on my body. Then I kind of had a mid-filming crisis and had to remove the makeup on the bottom of my eyes because it was driving me crazy, and I touch up all my mistakes and correct my contour. So this is the second time I've done my contour. Then I put some green eyeshadow under my eye just to tie everything in together. I also pop a little bit of Kat Von D's Thunderstruck in the middle of my eyelid. Then, because I ruined my contour, I touch it up again and I make it way more bold, and that just makes the angles of my face more like oomph, wham, bam. And then I touch up my highlight again because I messed it up somehow. I don't know, I think I just wanted more, but this looks really good to have that blue glow on my nose. Then I bought this yellow UV paint that I saw my friend Haley J using, and I decided to fill in the right side of each scale to make it look kind of like it's glimmering, but also get that little, you know, essence of brightness. I like a little bit of neon thrown in there. Then I made the mistake of putting scales on my cheekbone, which I immediately regretted. As soon as I finished and looked at it, I was like, no. And then I removed it and I applied my contour a third time. Then I throw on some hairspray and I'm sticking some craft glitter to my body. Then I'm using some glitter adhesive from NYX, and I'm going to put that same chunky glitter on my cheekbones and my forehead. Be careful to keep this out of your eyes. If you use it, it can cut your eyeball. And protecting my eye, I sprinkle NYX face and body glitter on myself. Then some final touches, I put on my crown and I situate my gorgeous wig. This is from ABHair, and I'll tell you more about it in a second. I then realized lipstick is missing, so I'm applying NYX Cosmic Metals Lip Cream in Electromagnetic. That's quite a long name, but it's kind of teal, kind of green, kind of gorgeous. So that is the completed look. I was going to say this wig was sent to me by ABHair, so if you want a really cool green wig with some depth to it, I would check them out. They have a lot of other colors too, and this one just went gorgeously with my mermaid I had in mind. I think this would be a great Joker, like glam Joker wig, and I wanted to try it for that. So I really recommend it, and I will link it below. So yeah, that is my finished Swamp Mermaid look. I feel like a lot of people could do this. It just takes getting a little bit crafty and owning the right glitter. And you can pick up the paints in Michael's if you want. So if you enjoyed this look, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up, and let me know if you want to see the tutorial on this headdress. I will leave the links to my buddy's tutorials at the end of this video, or check them out in the down bar. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a great Halloween.